Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the SAFA Women's Day 2023. I am Sadia Shakur. I am the member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan and currently working at Nestle Pakistan Limited as Supply Chain Controller.
My name is Kuratulan Hassan. I am your fellow Chartered Accountant and currently working at Telenor Microfinance Bank.
Both of us are the masters of ceremony for today's event. The theme for today's event is in line with the theme for International Women's Day, Embrace the Equity. The discussion in today's session will be focused on building sustainable future through diversity and inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a historical day as we are celebrating our first SAFA Women's Day. It is a proud moment for all accountancy bodies under the flagship of SAFA as we are celebrating the first Women's Day in the history. As per the decision by SAFA Women's Leadership Committee, every year, 15th March will be celebrated across SAFA countries as Women's Day by SAFA Women in all the 8 countries of South Asian Federation for Accountancy. SAFA Women Leadership Committee has also decided to launch Achievement Awards starting from 2024 to acknowledge the achievement of our esteemed women professionals. SAFA Leadership Committee has also put together a short video on the Women's Day. Let's play that video and just look at what SAFA Women's Day is all about. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to formally kick off today's meeting, we have with us Ms. Hina Usmani. Ms. Hina Usmani is the chair for SAFA Women Leadership Committee, council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, and the chair of CA Women's Committee ICAP. She is an entrepreneur, the first woman to have her own accountancy firm, and the first woman ever to be elected as the council member of ICAP. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Hina Usmani for her welcome remarks. Over to you, Ms. Hina.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, and all the honorable speakers, audience who have joined us from around the world. Mr. Nihar Jambusaria, President SAFA, Mr. Hishana Koropo, VP SAFA, Mr. Asad Firoz, Vice President, ICA Pakistan. Today, we are celebrating SAFA Women's Day 2023. We are happy with the participation of our senior leadership of SAFA, which depicts the SAFA's vision as a supportive body for diversity and inclusion. We at SAFA WLC are grateful for the support which the board has always extended us since the constitution of the committee, and more importantly, the confidence they have reposed in us by approving the action plan for 2023. And some of the landmark key decisions as proposed by the committee, such as declaration of SAFA Women's Day, announcement of achievement awards, and allowing social media presence. I'm confident these initiatives will greatly help not only achieving goals set by SAFA WLC, but will significantly help in enhancing the SAFA brand on a global scale. Ladies and gentlemen, today our focus is based on one of the milestones which we have achieved when the ICA Pakistan Council has issued the Diversity and Inclusion Guide for voluntary adoption on the recommendation of CA Women Committee. This guide is the outcome of great work done by the committee for developing and releasing after having multiple consultative sessions in different cities of Pakistan. This event includes a presentation by our council member Khurshid Kotwal, who will share with you how we worked and what aspects we considered in developing this guide, and especially the outcome which we expect from this adoption. The purpose is to facilitate all our member bodies to learn from each other's experience, and we would encourage everyone to benefit and develop similar guidelines in their countries for creating better enabling environment for women in the workforce. In this event, our honorable members of SAFA WLC, representing each member body, will present their issues, actions taken by their respective institutions in respect of gender diversity, and what impacts they have witnessed so far. From ICA Pakistan, Ms. Amara, who is the first woman chair of the Northern Regional Committee, will present the paper. In addition to gathering rich insights from our discussion today, an essential aim for SAFA WLC is to expand our outreach to our existing members, to inspire a future generation of accountants, and to provide support to SAFA members in every corner of the world. We are thus delighted to have a carefully curated list of experts, our own senior members from multiple geographies, who will shed light on this important topic with their deep insight and knowledge. I'm grateful to each one of them for today's honorable speakers for taking their time out for this monumental event of broad convergence and optimistic about the positive outcomes. Let me briefly take you through the action plans for the current year to keep all you engaged and updated on our activities. With an absolute pleasure, we announced the commencement of first SAFA Women Entrepreneurship Program from May 2023. A 22-hour program spread over 1.5 months will support women's skill development, especially of those who are on career breaks and are looking forward to join the workforce remotely. Another prominent initiative for this year is holding of a mega physical event in Middle East with an aim to digitally connect women of SAFA member bodies with women entrepreneurs and to showcase the potential of SAFA women to a wider world. We will also conduct programs for students' counseling and leadership development during the year. It is our endeavor to contribute through our initiatives in achieving the strategic goals set by the board. I'm highly thankful to IFAC President, Ms. Asma, who has extended a warm message which will be part of this program on the event of SAFA Women's Day. Before I prepare myself to enjoy the rest of the event, I would like to offer my gratitude to the entire SAFA board under the leadership of Mr. Nihal Jambusaria. And SAFA is a prestigious platform where we all connect and take advantage of great experience sharing by all members. We are fortunate to have women of high repute from each member body who are part of SAFA WLC, and I'm happy to have these great companions who are contributing immensely for achieving the goals of the committee. With special mention to Shamila, who is Vice Chair WLC, I really appreciate her all-time support for successful execution of this program. Our secretariats play a pivotal role in executing all initiatives, and with the great support of our superstars, Ms. Nazia Akmal from ICA Pakistan and Mudit ji from SAFA Secretariat, we are able to achieve our goals. I'm also grateful to our IT team and marketing team for smoothly executing this event and reaching out to thousands of audience through social media handles. I'm hopeful that the success of today's event will make ways for a wider adoption of diversity and inclusion initiatives, and wish you all a very happy and prosperous 2023 with anticipation that you will benefit from the valuable learnings today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hina, for your kind remarks. Over to Ms. Kurat for the proceedings further. Thank you.
President of ICAP, to share his views on the promising outlook of diversity and inclusion in Pakistan. Mr. Asad Feroz is a fellow member of ICAP, ACCA UK, PIPFA, and Institute of Taxation and Management. He is also the founding partner of Junaid Shoaib and Company, an independent member of Morrison Global.
Thank you very much. Respected President SAFA, Vice President SAFA, Madam Hina Usmani, Chairperson, SAFA WLC, and Council Member, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, Excellencies, guests, and other participants of SAFA bodies. A very good afternoon to all of you on behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. It is my honor and privilege to address you on this special occasion of SAFA Women Day 2023. Today, we are gathered here to celebrate the remarkable achievements of SAFA women in the accountancy profession and the progress we have made towards building a sustainable future through diversity and inclusion. Madam Hina Usmani, our fellow council member at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, is a wonderful ambassador of CA Women and has already wrote history at ICAP by becoming the first female to be elected at ICAP Council and first Vice President. Her recent appointment of the chair of the SAFA Women Leadership Committee is a crucial stride towards realizing goal of promoting gender diversity in the chartered accountancy profession. I am sure she will play a pivotal role in supporting SAFA member bodies in advocating for greater inclusivity and equal opportunities for all aspiring chartered accountants and accountants in general, regardless of gender. I am also honored to share council space of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan with another superwoman, Ms. Khurshid Kotwal. I am truly motivated by her energy, zeal, and the amazing ideas for betterment of profession. As chair of the Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICAP, she is doing an exemplary work in creating awareness regarding and developing the skill set on most crucial area of digital disruption for both members and students in Pakistan. It is indeed one of the most important areas where SAFA team members are also making contributions. Today, I bring to your attention a crucial subject: the promising prospects of diversity and inclusion initiative in Pakistan. As we all know, diversity and inclusion are the fundamental principles of a forward-thinking society, and Pakistan is actively embracing them. The D&I initiative strives to foster equality and impartiality in every facet of life in Pakistan, spanning from education, employment to social justice. The Women Committee of the CA Pakistan has put in an enormous effort and created a women inclusion guide for the CA profession and workforce in Pakistan, as Madam Hina mentioned a few moments earlier. These guidelines are designed to supplement the compliance requirements outlined by certain laws and regulations. The Women Inclusion Guide in the CA profession and the workforce applies to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, CA firms registered with ICAP having 25 or more full-time employees or trainees, and organizations registered under the Training Outside Practice scheme. RATs and RASS registered with ICAP are also encouraged to adopt the guide. Ensuring equal opportunities for all Pakistani citizens, irrespective of their gender, ethnicity, religion, or social status, is a fundamental goal of D&I initiative. It is a crucial step towards fostering a more equitable and harmonious society where everyone is treated with dignity and respect and given the chance to flourish in respective domains. Raising awareness about the significance of diversity and inclusion is another crucial aspect of D&I initiative. It aims to break down the barriers that hinder people from different backgrounds from collaborating and contributing towards the progress of Pakistan as a nation. Embracing diversity and promoting inclusivity can lead Pakistan leveraging the diverse talents, skills, and perspectives of all its citizens for betterment of the nation. Moreover, the D&I initiative can play a crucial role in fostering economic growth and development in the whole SAFA region. By promoting a more inclusive and diverse workforce, companies can access a broader range of expertise, which can lead to enhanced innovation and productivity. This, in turn, can have a positive impact on the overall economic performance of the region and generate more employment opportunities for citizens of the respective countries. Today, the economic realities are getting tough. The concept of women working alongside men is becoming a norm. There is all the more need for gender inclusivity in these times. As we gather to celebrate the exceptional achievements of female chartered accountants, it is crucial to underscore the significant progress Pakistan has made in recent years. There has been a noticeable rise in the number of women joining the profession, securing leadership roles, serving as heads of government departments and private organizations as CEOs or CFOs, and leaving a lasting imprint. I was delighted to witness a large number of females that would be joining CA firms as trainee students this year. I am confident that we will continue to witness a remarkable increase in the number of women in our profession in the years to come in Pakistan. As a fraternity, we have a huge responsibility on our shoulders. We need to work tirelessly to create a culture in our respective organizations that values and supports the contribution of women. We must also strive to break the traditional barriers to entry and promote equal opportunities for all aspiring accountants, regardless of gender. I would like to congratulate our CA Women Committee of ICAP for its tireless endeavors in advancing the cause of gender diversity and inclusivity within the chartered accountancy profession. IFAC has also recently published an article, Female Chartered Accountants in Pakistan, a success story, which was co-authored by our past president, Mr. Naeem Akhtar Sheikh, and Madam Hina Osmani. It highlighted key initiatives of CA Women Committee, including the CA Girls Nurturing Program, the Women on Board Initiative, the Entrepreneurship Program, mentoring sessions for female trainee students, annual CA Women Day, publication of an aspiring journey of CA women, gender policy, etc. Let us appreciate and acknowledge efforts of all wonderful and amazing women who are part of our accountancy fraternity across SAFA region and also our lives. Let's pledge to protect the rights of women, to struggle against the anti-women forces in society, to ensure their right to life, education, and well-being, to appreciate them, to assist them in ascending to the skies of glory. Let this day not be a mere day of commemoration. Let's turn it into a call for action, a call for women empowerment, a call for equality, a call for equal rights of our mothers, sisters, wives, and daughters, and more importantly, a call for humanity. I leave you with golden words of Melinda Gates. Gender diversity is not just good for women, it is good for anyone who wants results. Thank you very much and have a great session.
Thank you, Asad, for your encouraging words. And I agree that there has been remarkable progress in Pakistan for women gender diversity, and it is all thanks to the initiatives of our Women Committee and also the support of institution. Now I'll hand over to Sadia for taking it forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Kurat. Next, we have with us Mr. Nihar. Mr. Nihar Surya is the past president of ICA India and is the president of currently business and advisory group of International Federation of Accountants. In his speech, he will cover how enabling workspaces support economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Nihar.
Thank you, madam. Good evening, everybody. Ms. Hina Usmani, Chair of the Women Leadership Committee at SAFA, President ICAP, Mr. M. Ali Latif, who just spoke, President IFAC, who will be joining or who would have just joined, Ms. Asma Resmoki, all the women members of this committee, all members of SAFA region, greetings from SAFA to all of you. Let me at the outset congratulate the chairperson of Women Leadership Committee, Ms. Hina Usmani, for organizing this event on the SAFA Women Day, which we are celebrating today, and particularly for selecting a topic which is a mission of ICAP, that is diversity and inclusion. So building a sustainable future through diversity and inclusion is the theme on which today's event is based. Gender diversity, of course, very important, just as my previous speaker spoke, that if we want to achieve all-round progress, then we must have the benefit of talent of men and women both. And therefore, gender diversity plays a very important role in the development of not only the profession, but also the economy of the country. If I talk about the gender diversity ratio at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, then in our institute at present, 44% of the total students are girl students. And 24%, 25% of the members are women. And this ratio is increasing year after year as more and more women qualify as chartered accountants. And as they qualify, they will also enter the work field and participate in professional activities and even the activities for the development of our nations. Friends, when we talk of diversity, gender diversity is one. But if we look at diversity in general, time has come when in our profession we take a leap forward from just sticking to our traditional area of practice, that is auditing and tax work. Now time has come when we practice in the area of uplifting the MSMEs, help startups, participate in sustainability. Particularly today in the entire world, every country is talking about triple bottom line. For an accountant, when we talk about bottom line, we normally immediately think of profit. But now that climate change has created so many issues and it is a threat to the survival of the entire world, every country talks about triple bottom line, that is profit, people, and planet. So there should be diversity in our activities. It is not that we have to advise clients on creating wealth alone, profit alone, but we are now their guide and leaders to guide them as to how to create value, not only for the economy of the country, but for the entire world, by participating in all sustainable development goals. And I am told to speak specifically on how enabling workplace supports economic growth, a regional perspective. Now, you will all agree that if I talk today on the Women's Day, particularly about enabling workplace for women, then very rightly put that in the past women did not find appropriate workplace. But now in countries, this awareness and this acceptance that overall growth can happen only when both the genders participate equally in the work also, professional work, business, and for the development of economy. And therefore, it is the duty of every professional body and every corporate and every business entity to create atmosphere at workplace which is very conducive, which facilitates working of the women and makes it smooth. So let us work towards that. In India also there is a lot of awareness about gender equality, and by the percentage that I mentioned, that among the students now women stand at 44%. It is almost becoming equal. Gender diversity is being practiced very consciously, and it is helping development of the profession. Let us think about development of the economy, its growth. In India, we have observed many women leaders who are entrepreneurs have contributed so immensely to the growth of the business, and they have brought new ideas. But you know that men and women have their own skills, and if we bring both these skills to the table, then only there can be inclusive growth. So let us work towards that. And I once again congratulate the chair of this committee, Ms. Hina Usmani, for organizing this event. The subjects that you are covering are very relevant in today's scenario, and it will help all those who are attending this event today. So my hearty congratulations, and please keep it up. All these activities should go on throughout the year, and not only this year, even in the forthcoming years. And let us strive for that. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so very much, Nihar sir. It's great to hear from you. Thank you very much for your encouragement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nihar. It was really great to hear about creating equal opportunities at the workplace so that women can also contribute towards economy and work for the betterment of overall society. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have a video message from Mr. Asma Resmogi. She is the IFAC president and was elected in November 2022. Prior to becoming president, Mr. Resmogi was appointed deputy president in November 2020 after serving on the IFAC board since November 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will just hear and see the video message by Ms. Asma.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Asma Resmogi. I'm the IFAC president. I am pleased to send a message to my colleagues at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, ICAP, and the South Asian Federation of Accountants, SAFA, on SAFA Women's Day celebrations 2023 as part of the wider celebration of International Women's Day 2023. My sincere congratulations to the SAFA Women's Leadership Committee and the chair, Mrs. Hina Usmani from ICAP, for championing diversity in the profession and for raising awareness in the South Asia region. International Women's Day as a celebration is not just a one-day or one-month celebration. It is a principle to continue evolving and improving if we want everyone to be treated fairly. In many parts of the world, diversity, equity, and inclusion accounts for various factors and topical areas, and while the world is still taking steps to address these issues, small victories along the way should be championed and acknowledged. And obviously, more can always be done. Building a sustainable future through diversity and inclusion is an important topic for our global profession, and indeed for the entire world. Gender equality is a human right. The United Nations enshrined it in their Sustainable Development Goal number 5, achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. It is everyone's business to make this a reality in our homes, our communities, and our professional lives. In our profession, we still have a long way to go. However, recognition of the importance of diversity and inclusion in the profession is growing quickly. There has been a significant global increase in the number of women in our profession, including in leadership positions, both in the public and private sectors. And research has shown that gender equality in leadership has contributed to strengthening the competitiveness and development of the entities concerned. At IFAC, we are paying close attention to the topic of attractiveness of the profession. And part of being attractive is to ensure that the profession is open to all. And it is clear that the global accountancy profession must continue evolving, not just to acquire the skills to tackle the challenges and opportunities of today, but also to keep increasing the diversity of those practicing and succeeding in our profession. As an organization, we will continue advocating for gender parity in accountancy, finance, and business leadership roles, as well as continue encouraging our member organizations to champion diversity and gender equality. I applaud today's event as you continue to highlight the importance of having an inclusive, diverse, and equitable profession. You are raising the bar with your efforts. I applaud all speakers and presenters on their courage to share their stories, and I applaud them for their achievements. I applaud the Women Inclusion Guide that all SAFA member bodies and the wider profession can adopt to support this important initiative. Everyone has a role to play in ensuring that our profession has a brighter and more diverse future. Following these remarks, a short video will play where I talk about IFAC's initiative to promote gender equality in the accountancy profession. I invite you to keep an eye out for what is to come, and if you have something you'd like to share, I personally invite you and encourage you to please share your stories with us. To my colleague Hina, to ICAP, and to the SAFA Women Leadership Committee, thank you for all that you are doing in this important space, and I wish you a wonderful event. Hello everyone, and happy International Women's Day, which is focusing this year on the theme of digital, innovation, and technology for gender equality. I am delighted to announce a new IFAC initiative to promote gender equality in the accountancy profession. Once a month for the next year, we will be publishing interviews that spotlight outstanding female change makers, and you can be part of it. First, I want to explain why we have chosen this moment to bring you the stories of these remarkable women. Gender equality is an issue of human rights. The United Nations enshrined it in the Sustainable Development Goal number 5, achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. It is everyone's business to make this a reality. In our homes, our communities, and our professional lives. We know we have a long way to go in our profession. According to a recent global survey of finance and accounting professionals, co-sponsored by IFAC, only 58% of respondents view the profession as equitable, and only 59% view the profession as inclusive. Among female respondents, 42% said they have left the company due to a perceived lack of equitable treatment or inclusion. However, recognition of the importance of diversity and inclusion in the profession is growing quickly. And there has been a significant global increase in the number of women in our profession, including in leadership positions. IFAC itself is a success story. As of 2010, no woman had been president of IFAC, and only 4 women sat on the IFAC board out of 22 members. But I'm speaking today as the 3rd female president of IFAC and as a chair of a majority female IFAC board. As we continue striving for greater diversity, equity, and inclusion across our organization, we are also encouraging our members and stakeholders to do the same. And some of them have made amazing progress. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe started a program in 2017 called the Women Chartered Accountants Network, or We Can, that offers mentorships and many other resources for female members and students, and which in 2021 was instrumental in the Institute achieving gender parity on its council for the first time. In Pakistan, a visionary group of female chartered accountants saw the need for a women-centric network. So they created it themselves. This group, the Chartered Accountants Women's Forum, earned recognition from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan in 2017, and thanks to their hard work, the number of women entering our profession in Pakistan has increased dramatically. We can see from these examples that accountants can be powerful advocates for gender diversity and inclusion. And these are the kinds of stories we will tell through interviews with exceptionally accomplished and inspirational women with very diverse roles and backgrounds. The digital theme of this International Women's Day draws our attention to recent changes in the way accountants work. Many of us have seen that digital tools can help to create more inclusive and flexible working arrangements, which can reduce some of the barriers that women face in entering and advancing in the accountancy profession. I'm excited to announce that our first interview will feature Heather Smith, the owner of a 100% digital accounting practice. She is a self-described nomad with a passion for accounting apps. She is a trailblazer in embracing the technologies that will define the accountant of the future. So check out IFAC's Knowledge Gateway on International Women's Day to read the interview or to get in touch and share your story.
Thank you, the Honorable Ms. Asma Resmouki, the President of International Federation of Accountants. We are so delighted that you have taken time to share your thoughts for SAFA Women Committee. Your words, as always, are truly inspiring, especially for our younger generation. Now, as we celebrate Women's Day, we cannot overlook the significant role that women have played in the field of chartered accountancy. They have broken barriers and shattered stereotypes to excel in a profession that was once considered to be male-dominated. However, we know that the challenges do not end here. The challenges that women face in the workplace are not unique to any one country or culture. The women around the world continue to face barriers to their success, including gender-based discrimination, unequal pay, and limited opportunities for advancement. Today, we are joined by female chartered accountants from different countries, united in our celebration of the incredible achievements and contributions of women around the world. Let's now hear about their experiences, especially with regards to gender diversity, the initiatives taken by them to address these issues, and what was the impact. I would first like to invite Amara Gondal to share the achievements of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. Amara brings with her close to 2 decades of multifaceted experience in finance and accounting and has served at various technical and professional development committees of ICAP. She has also played active roles in organizing and conducting various mega conferences and programs for the Institute.
Thank you, Q. This is my absolute pleasure to connect all of you from different parts of South Asia, and I wish you a very happy Women's Day. And I'm pleased to represent diversity and inclusion journey from Pakistan to embrace equity. Yes. Today, I'm going to talk about diversity and inclusion journey, the challenges that we have been facing in the last 50 years after ICAP's incorporation, and what are the initiatives that we took in just 5 years and the results that we have taken in just 5 years as compared to 50 years that we could not achieve. So starting with the challenges, ICAP has been an equal opportunity policy, and despite that, there were only few hundred women members and students that we could not take a significant progress in 50 years of ICAP's life. The major challenge with this region has been basically perception issues. CA profession has always been taken a least preferred career of choice for women due to its societal restraints and mindset. The second challenge, those who qualified, who entered into the profession, qualified, but then they could not discontinue. They opted for household. And as a result, we had a very low workforce. Another challenge for those who continue in the profession, they had very tough time in balancing the work-life balance. And as a result, there were very low participation in professional development and capacity building activities of ICAP. And as a result, they could not progress enough in their organizations. And most of the women used to be stuck at middle management position, and we could see only few leadership positions occupied by women, CA women. And there was also another challenge that we used to hear about, and still this is there, but we have worked a lot on lack of enabling environment. There was, workplace harassment in different forms. So these were the issues that we kept hearing again and again, and we could not do much about it. So let's move on to what we did. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, CONSUL, took a paradigm shift, indeed a breakthrough. In 2017, CA Women Committee was formed. Its first chairman was a male council member because there was no female council member. In just 6 months' time, elections were held. Ms. Hina Osmani decided to contest the elections, and in open competition, she won the elections. and she became the first female council member, and then became the chairperson of CA Women Committee. In 2017, CA Women Committee worked a lot. In 2018, we decided to bring this concept at SAFA level to learn from the regional experiences and work more on this diversity and inclusion initiatives. In 2019, all the council members, all men, they decided to elect their vice president, Ms. Huna, as the first vice president of ICAP. That was indeed a big milestone we achieved. From 2017 to 2022, this was the tenure of council members of ICAP. In this tenure, Women Committee, led by us, a woman council member, aggressively worked on D&I goal settings and its implementation. So we are going to learn about what we did in 5 years, which we could not do much in 50 years of ICAP's history. So the strategic goals were set, and we decided to first address the perception change. There was zero socializing and networking, so we held CA Women's Day, and it was a huge success. CA women from all spheres of the country used to participate, and this is now a ritual, and every day we celebrate. This is a big socializing and networking flagship event of CA Women Committee. Then we increased the enhanced awareness through enhanced digital and social media footprints, Facebook, LinkedIn, to change the perception about CA profession is best suited for women as well. And there was professional grooming sessions that we used to hold, counseling sessions for CA women students to address their particular problems, how to deal with them. Then we reached out to schools and academia to guide them that CA profession is the best choice of career for them. They should opt for it. And then at the end of 2021, we decided to highlight our achievement and to change this perception that CA women cannot do much, or this profession is not well suited for the women. So we launched a book, An Inspiring Journey of CA Women, that encapsulated all the achievements that we did in 4 or 5 years of time, and the remarkable achievement that we could achieve in that. And it was a big breakthrough for us. Another strategic goal that we worked on was the capacity building. We held career counseling for the growing careers. We held professional development programs, especially for CA women, like financial modeling, Excel, and all those specifically may or may not be, but we made them for our female members for their skills enhancement. Then there was a publication of CA Women on board directory, because there was no leadership position, and on the board there were few positions. They were in fact led by CA women on the boards. So what we did, we compiled that data and we made that, and we launched a big event on Pakistan Stock Exchange, telling the world that on listed companies, as per Code of Corporate Governance, that there should be a one female director. So we told them that our fraternity, CA women, are all equipped to hold those positions. Then there was a big milestone that we achieved. We launched CA Women Entrepreneurship Program for CA Women on career breaks. We aggressively work for those women, our qualified members, those who are qualified, but they are sitting on homes because of any reason. There are who are at their career break. So we told them, nevertheless, you are at home, but you can upskill yourself. You can be part of the game by just bringing yourself back in the program. So this program was for them, and to our surprise, and this has actually achieved much popularity, and this is very much in demand by our male members as well. So in the next step, we are going to launch it for our other members, not only for female. So another goal that we worked on was an enabling environment. So we launched a diversity and inclusion guide for CA women and the workforce, and we have worked significantly on a daycare center, and we have collaborated for CA women. So this should not be a pediment for you to come back to the profession. In fact, Diversity and Inclusion Guide for CA Women was the one that we started working in 2017. And it took us 4 or 5 years to launch. In 2022, we have finally launched it, a prominent milestone. And this has helped us to achieve United Nations Sustainability Development Goal 5. It contains the best practices based on our extensive research and deliberations in, over years, not only months. Our objective was to have a positive impact on organizations and economies through increased participation of women in workforce. So the impact in 5 years, what we achieved, which we could not achieve in 50 years. Fresh women students intake, 221% growth. Total women students growth, 103%. And the percentage grew from 4 or 5% to 18%. Year-on-year growth of women students, 38% versus 10% of men. Total women members growth, 51%. It was just 4% 5 years ago, and it is now touching more than 10% of the composition of our membership. Women and board members, enhanced sustainability. Majority women on career breaks are now back in workforce, showcasing. We have been able to showcase our success stories by IFAC, UNDP, and other accountancy bodies, and majority women are part of management committees of overseas chapter. A big impact that we have been able to create is diversity at ICAP leadership. ICAP elections 2021, after 4 years, was a big breakthrough. Now we have 4 elected women as compared to only 1 last year. There have been historic achievement. First female contesting from North and getting highest votes was a big surprise for us, a pleasant surprise indeed. First ever chairperson in the northern region, and first ever women member from southern region. And now, not only at top leadership, in all management committees, now we ensure at least 1 women member at management committees. And this year, there are more than 1 women member at management committees. So this has indeed been a significant progress that we achieved in just 5 years as compared to 50 years of ICAP history. And this is just the beginning. And I would like to take this opportunity to specially thank IFAC and present our gratitude for all their providing us opportunity and showcasing our success story to the world. Thank you very much for bearing with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amara. Next, we have Mariam Khavar representing ICMA Pakistan. Mariam is a master's in statistics and FCMA professional, having over 20 years experience in MNCs, and is leading national public limited companies and government companies at a strategic level. Mariam is also the president of Women Committee of ICMAP.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you very much. Screen mera video hai. First of all, hope I am audible.
Yes, you're audible, Mariam.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to give my gratitude and regards to, especially to IFAC and SAFA board and Women Committee President ICAP, Ms. Hina Usmani. And let me explain that what's the women empowerment for us, for Pakistani ladies. But I think so that it's creating an environment where women have equal opportunities and rights. Diversity and inclusion are both interchangeable concepts. And in normally in Pakistan, in different organizations, diversity is required to give the representation to women and inclusion that they are able to contribute in a strategic decisions. So for me, for hiring people from different backgrounds, they are able to contribute in companies' strategic decisions, women are getting the equal rights, then you can say that this is a true example of a diversity and inclusion. So now I will come to the ICMA, Institute of Chartered Management Accountants of Pakistan. This is the statistics which I want to share with you people, where we can see that the women contribution is not so much, but definitely their contribution is available. Our affiliate financial accountants, male 92%, female 8%, membership, male 93%, female 7%. Percentage for women is very low, but definitely it's increasing gradually. Where we are talking about the chartered management accountants, the female percentage is quite obvious, it's 20%. Female staff, which is hired there, is 25%. And the students which are going to added in the different institute is 19%. Next one. Women in finance overcoming gender bias and advancing careers. Lack of women mentors and networks, even in professional areas, even in working areas, you didn't get the senior women who are working and have the experience of those organizations. So this is a very big problem for the new and freshers. They are not getting the good guidance from them. Then inadequate financial literacy, overlapping duties, and the most important thing, which is not only available in Pakistan or in Asia or somewhere in Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, it's this problem is arising in the other countries as well. It's gender pay gap. On the equal level, on the equal stages, so with the equal qualifications, they are not allowed to get the same package. So this is a very big difference, which gives them the discouragement and demotivational to go for the further aspects and to get the more promotions. If I will go to the next slide, that is ICMA roles in diversification. It's a constitution of women in accountancy board. This is a very good step taken by the institute. And then establishment of exclusive women campus at SACR. It will be the first effort that the campus is only dedicated for women, and SACR is not a very urban area, it's very far, and we are going to encourage them that they should come, and women should be encouraged that, because in these areas normally people are not allowing them to go for studies with their other gender. Then ICM is an equal opportunity employer, and we are always celebrating as Women's Day. Last, I want to share the recommendations, which is allowed for all the basic necessities like paid leaves, training and courses, promotions. Normally in promotions, women are not considering by their higher ups equally. They are always thinking that women have different issues, so maybe they are not going to continue. So these type of issues they are facing. So true diversity and true inclusion is when they are getting the equal opportunities in every aspect. Sometimes you are the CFO, you are the big shot of the company, but in the strategic decisions, people are talking with the operational guys and other one, because she is lady, maybe she doesn't have the market experience, so don't involve her. So these type of the discouragement and these type of the things make herself to not go so up. So this type of discrimination should be eliminated. Then definitely equal rights for professional development. I have an experience that many my colleagues are sharing their experiences with myself. That her colleague is going for the Harvard course, but she is not recommended by his bosses, because last year she has a pregnancy issue. She was expecting her baby, so they are not going to allow her for this year. You missed that opportunity. So these type of the discriminations are creating problems to go for further higher up, for further positions, for chief positions. Then definitely in flexibility in timings, which is very much important. And then, which is very important in my perspective, that allow to them to participate in strategic decisions. If we are not giving them the ownership, if we are not giving them the equal space to participate in the strategic decisions, how you are expecting that they will contribute towards the company or institute or industry's progress? So I hope so. I am clear to give my concept. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mariam. Now, please welcome Camilla Kure, representing CA Sri Lanka. Camilla is the Vice Chair of SAFA Women Leadership Committee and an experienced professional with a demonstrated history of working in the outsourcing of offshoring industry.
First of all, let me congratulate Hina and the Women's Development Committee, SAFA Women's Development Committee, for the historic day that we've created today. And once again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to discuss what CS Sri Lanka has done in terms of addressing some of the certain concerns that we have in terms of gender diversity. Let me quickly share with you my presentation. I hope it is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Right. If I go into talk about the Women's Development Committee in Sri Lanka, we are, I think, the youngest baby on the board. We started probably 5 years before. But for the shorter period of time that we've been working on the diversity and inclusion initiatives, we've done quite a lot, but I've picked a couple of items for the discussion, given that we have short time in our hand. First one, if you see the numbers, it speaks for themselves, where, you see there is a huge number in terms of 65% of our total student base has been female, whereas when it comes to member base, that has reduced by 50% itself. So this is one of the major concerns that we had in terms of, addressing, finding solutions, because this is what we represent in the senior leadership in corporates, in organizations. So what we did was we tried our best to support the students, specifically considering the challenges that the women, the girls have in terms of addressing how do they get into exams, providing them online lecture facilities, online examination facilities, so that even from where they are, from their houses, they should be in a position to face the exams and get through their careers. And also because the exposure, the practical training is part of our curricula, we also supported identifying different organizations across the country so that these individuals can go into the closest accreditation organization. And also we allow students to work from home, and their records were also being accepted. Moving on to the next major thing I would say that we've done, we also have observed there is less women representation in the senior management positions and boards. So we've seen one of the reasons for this, when we get into discussion, is that there is no resource pool available. So we don't know who's capable for our industry, for our organization, what their capabilities are. To facilitate that, what we did as a committee was to introduce a female women-ready, board-ready members directory, specifically identifying the chartered accountants who has come across different exposures, worked in different industries, different organizations. We launched this directory in 2019 as a hard copy, but again, last year, we launched it as an online publication. The information is currently available in our website, and this has been shared with all the listed companies in the country. And we've seen there is a lot of access to the women's board-ready directory, and that shows that there is an impact that we made in terms of making available resources for the companies to consider. And in terms of women getting into the board, we've seen a number of women who are chartered accountants who appear on this directory has now been appointed to boards as well. And without stopping there, we also went into another step in terms of identifying gender parity, and we requested the corporates to make disclosures in their annual reports. And this is one of the criteria that when we get into the annual report awards competition, this is one of the criteria that we looked into in terms of marking them and identifying them on the appreciation of the gender diversity. And this has also had made huge impact, where we have now seen at least there is one female board member being represented in many of the organizations, may it be public or private company. And moving on to the journey didn't stop there. We also understood that, you know, it's not one activity that would help women to get into the positions, senior leadership, being on the boards. It's an ongoing support that we would require. And so we make sure we make them available for networking sessions to profile themselves with equal men who's on the boards, as well as we ensure there is mentoring sessions with senior leadership, may it be females, may it be males, so that they would get their experience shared as to how do you step into a leadership role in terms of the exposure, the discussions, and the competencies that you require to be holding that positions. Also, we made certain programs which enhance their skills, like IT skills, negotiation skills, and public speaking skills, where that would support them to be competent enough and confident enough also when they get into networking and discussions with the parallels. So that is mostly what we have done within the shorter period of time that we've been working with the professionals. With that, I would hand it back to the MC. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Camilla, for sharing your insights. Next, we have Darshini Watawala representing CMA Sri Lanka. Having 20 years of experience in audit and finance, she is currently an associate director at PwC Sri Lanka. In addition to being a fellow member ICA and ICMA Sri Lanka, she also holds a Bachelor's of Sciences and Master's in Financial Economics from University of Colombo.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. I'm delighted to be here today representing CMA Sri Lanka at SAFA Women's Day. So I'll just get my presentation up. I will just share some statistics about Sri Lanka before we go to the CMA Sri Lanka statistics. So if you look at the overall statistics in Sri Lanka, we can see that 51.6% of the population is represented by females, but we can see that the female labor force participation rate is only 31.8%. And also, when we look at the females who are represented by managers, senior officials, and legislators, we see that it's only 19.5% of that category. So these numbers definitely could improve. when we look at our students in commerce and accountancy, when we consider the GCE advanced level, you can see that the majority of the students that actually qualify for university admission in the commerce stream are females. And it was 67% in 2020-21. Due to there being limited space in actual state universities in Sri Lanka, state university education is actually free. There will be quite a number of students who actually don't qualify for university and therefore are looking for other options. So if you can look at the graph that you can see, it's like about 25% or less students who are actually have the opportunity of going into state university. So there are quite a lot of students who don't have that opportunity, and most of these are females as well. So this is an opportunity for professional accountancy bodies who will have these students come to them to get qualified. So if you look at CMA Sri Lanka and we look at the members' composition, you can see only 24% of the members are female, 76% are male. But if you look at the students, you can see that it's more even. We have 49% of female students. When we look at CMA Sri Lanka and what they have done to drive inclusivity, you can see the student reach of CMA Sri Lanka. So when we look at Colombo, which is the capital in Sri Lanka, and also the business capital of Sri Lanka, 25% of the students are from this district. But 75% of CMA Sri Lanka students are from outstation. So we have 28 accredited education providers located throughout the island. And some of these education centers also provide an online learning, which actually increases the reach of students. We also have 92 partnerships with companies to provide training opportunities for students. And also the first two levels of the CMA qualification is conducted and can be completed in Sinhala and Tamil mediums in addition to English medium. So let's look at some of the programs that have been conducted by CMA Sri Lanka to increase its reach as well as increase female participation. So we have this Peachcraft program, which is an integral part of the CMA curriculum. It actually hones the communication skills of students in English. So this was basically, started to be done on an online basis from the time of COVID-19, and it has continued to be done so. So this has actually enabled students from overseas and distant areas to complete this program without delay. Because previously you had to come to Colombo to do it. So now we are doing it on a hybrid basis so that whoever wants to can come to Colombo and others can complete the program online. We have also conducted programs in a mix of Sinhala and English for SMEs relating to various subjects such as the recent change in tax legislation, financial management, and cash flow management. And we're also looking at conducting costing programs for women entrepreneurs to build their knowledge on basic costing principles and pricing of products. And of course, all of the webinars organized by CMA Sri Lanka during COVID-19 and even subsequently has been free of charge for its members and conducted online. So actually this increases the reach of members who are able to participate in these programs. And of course, on an annual basis, we also celebrate International Women's Day as well. So going forward, these are the steps that we are going to be taking. One is to encourage female representation in the council. So the current council, we do not have any female members, but the previous council, we had one female member. So we want to encourage females to be represented in the council. And although we do have female representation in our member committees, we want to encourage more female participation and also more female participation at leadership roles in these member committees. We're also looking at conducting a survey of barriers standing in the way of female students reaching membership, and also compiling statistics on the female leadership among the members of CMA. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Done. Thank you so much, Darshini. Next, we have Akhtar Sanjida Qasim representing ICMA Bangladesh. With over 30 years of post-qualification experience, she is currently practicing as managing partner of A. Qasim & Company. She is the first woman in Bangladesh to hold both qualifications, CA and CMA, and also the first women in public accounting practice.
Thank you very much. And it's a great honor to be invited to make a presentation. Respected leadership from all these international accounting bodies and our chair, SAFA WLC, Hinaji, and all the leaders in the profession. A very good evening. Please allow me a minute to get my presentation up. Thank you. Can you please see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, we can see it, Akhtar. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. And we have a very small presentation from our institute, the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Bangladesh, ICMAB. I am actually a member of both the institutes, but here I have the privilege of representing ICMAB. So we are telling you very briefly about our attempts and successes at ensuring diversity and inclusion in our institute. So just to start with a little bit of interpretation of how we understand diversity and inclusion in our institute. The diversity and inclusion are two interconnected concepts, but as far as we understand, they are perhaps not exactly interchangeable. Diversity is about representation or the makeup of an entity, and inclusion is about how loudly or how importantly their voice is heard, about how well the contributions, presence, and perspectives of different groups of people are valued and integrated into an environment. So as a responsible corporate citizen and as an institute dedicated for the professional development of our youth, ICMAB and its leadership are fully committed to promoting diversity and inclusion. Although in a broader interpretation, diversity and inclusion includes women, disadvantaged persons, ethnic minorities, and third gender. As a starting point, ICMAB is currently focusing on women through various initiatives and commitments. For example, that we want to promote CMA as a viable and attractive career choice among women, disadvantaged persons, and indigenous communities. We want to provide an enabling environment for students from all strata of population, from all locations, and from all economic conditions. The empowerment of women by hiring them in key positions within the institute itself, because we think that is the best place to demonstrate and manifest our commitment, and recognize women leaders and high achievers so that other people are inspired, and supporting capacity building of women members and students, and promote employment generation for women, to name a few. As the other speakers have said before me, that the women face challenges like any other countries in this region in pursuing professional accountancy as a career. First of all, to start with, there is a lack of awareness about the profession and admission procedures. Many people don't know. If you consider that out of 1,710 members of ICMAB, only 72 of them are women, you will see that there is a perceived lack of awareness and bit of darkness about how this profession works. The location of institute branches is in a few cities only, maybe not enough diversified or decentralized around the country. There is a perceived difficulty in passing the course, but as you all know, that all the qualified women here, you know that if you really study hard and understand your topics, it is possible to pass the course within a reasonable period of time. There are various logistics issues which are beyond the control of the institute itself. For example, the hostel accommodation, the transport, the law and order situation, etc. And once they start working, there is a lack of childcare and other support mechanism for working women, which sometimes makes it hard for them to continue their career. It has been discussed in detail in our earlier presentations. We have lost some very bright and valuable resources from the workforce because of this. So how, as an institute, we want to mitigate this scenario? So we have taken various actions so far, and I am really sorry that I don't have the exact numbers to support these actions that we are talking about, but we can tell you that all these are actually things that we have done. So we have recognized gender issues by forming a Women Affairs Committee by senior women members and supported by the National Council and branch councils. They are very, very supportive. The active representation of participation in SAFA WLC, we must congratulate and felicitate the leadership here who have allowed us the platform to participate. The inclusion of women in important committees of the Institute is something that ICMAB has done. And we have encouraged the participation of women in the electoral process of ICMAB councils. We have had women in the council since 2004, and I have been a vice president in 2007. We have promoted the employment of women in mid-level to senior positions in the institute itself, and we have also encouraged and motivated our other senior members to increase the employment and empowerment of women in their own entities. We have provided career counseling at reputed women educational institutions to create a pipeline of students. And we have arranged motivational programs for mature students and dropouts to encourage them to return and complete the course. Perhaps we would like to talk a little bit more on this, because we, when we had first started the Women Affairs Committee, we had about only less than 50 women qualified, and almost the same number of women senior students who had only 2 or 3 papers left before they could qualify. So this was actually a matter of concern, and we had arranged programs where we had discussed with them that what was actually holding them back. And we found that this simple act of motivation and simple act of attention had actually motivated them big time. Many of them had actually started sitting the examinations after a long break. They knew that the institute was thinking about them, the institute was caring for them, and this was a major motivation itself. We observe International Women's Day over the last few years with a lot of enthusiasm. We have just had our celebration on 11th March, where we had a secretary of the government and a professor and also an advisor of the government who had come to the program and had given us very inspiring speeches and had committed to support our women members as well as mature students. We have capacity building programs for members and senior students to prepare them for the job market, which includes the courses on interview skills, spoken English courses, and computer training courses, and so on. Mentoring and counseling by senior members, both formally and informally. And our institute has actually negotiated with women hostels, many of them are government hostels, to arrange accommodation for women who are coming from other cities. We have conducted health, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching by external experts. Cultural programs are held regularly for their emotional well-being, and international exposure by designing group tours. So these are some of the initiatives that we are taking. And what is the impact? The impact, we are very happy to say that this has had a very positive impact. We are seeing more and more interest from women to pursue this course, and also more and more interest in actually completing this course and qualifying and holding important positions in the corporate world. We have some inspiring stories in our institute. For example, the first ever female finance director of Unilever Bangladesh Limited, which, as you know, that one of the largest FMCG companies in the world, is a member of ICMAB. And if you talk about other achievements, the first woman to have climbed and summited Mount Everest is actually from a student of ICMAB. So these are some of the actions that we have taken. We are hoping to create a more visible impact. And we would like to thank and acknowledge the support of IFAC and SAFA, and also all the accounting institutes in this region for their ongoing support and guidance. Thank you very much once again for giving us the floor. We are hoping to welcome you to Bangladesh sometime soon. Hoping to see you there.
Thank you so much, Akhtar. Next, we have Cypriya Kumar, representing Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Cypriya is a partner at SPR & Company and also the chairperson of Corporate Law Committee at ICAI. Over to you, Cypriya.
Is my screen visible, please? Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, Cypriya, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So here's a very, very hearty good evening to everybody, to Hina and to the others at the leadership of the Women's Forum at SAFA. I'm very honored and delighted to be here this evening. I've been given a time slot of 5 minutes to discuss about diversity and inclusion, and I think it's so large. But I thought I would just pick on one idea and elaborate on it, something that worked very successfully in India. And I promised to keep it short, and I've got a message that says I've got to wrap up in 4 minutes, and I surely will try. So I represent the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I happen to be the fourth, or you may say even the fifth, lady member to have got elected to the Central Council. And slightly later in this session, you will have my professional colleague, CA Preeti Savla, who heads the Women Members Empowerment Committee this year. I headed this committee last year. I presently head the Corporate Laws and the Corporate Governance Committee. India is a very happy scene for women chartered accountants. 40% of the members are women. That's about 1 lakh of members. 42% of the students are women. Our challenges are to ensure that women chartered accountants sustain their professional journey and to obviously create more women at the top, including directorial placements. Very, very happy and proud to let you know that we are one of the fastest growing economies of the world. We are trying to go for a $5 trillion GDP in the next couple of years. We achieved our first trillion in 68 years, the second trillion in 3 years, and the third trillion took us a year. And our objective in ICAI is to ensure that we look beyond just our professional qualifications and see how women chartered accountants can actually be part of this nation building journey. So it's that sense of pride that we want to instill in our women CAs in India. So I'm just going to take one initiative that we did very, very successfully. I did hear Hina speak about a women member work from anywhere placement program. And this is the only slide that I have to show you. So the Women Members Empowerment Committee in the past was very, very active. We've been around for a couple of years now in India as part of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And the role of the committee was largely to, sort of develop women as speakers, motivate them, etc. And last year when I happened to chair this committee, I said, we must launch a work from anywhere placement program. And if there was one single event in the world history that actually propelled and gave wings to this dream, it was actually COVID-19. We found that with COVID-19 happening, organizations were extremely open to having people work from anywhere. So what did we do? We collaborated with another committee of ICAI, which is the Committee for Members in Business and Industry. And they had a digital platform that we use for campus placements for chartered accountants. So we said there's no point in doing this alone because half the world is men. So we got to work with other committees as well. And they were very, very graceful in, co-branding this initiative with us. So there was a virtual platform that was ready to go, click and go, and it was a completely digitized process. We held virtual interviews at 9 large and 12 smaller locations in India. We encouraged women to apply on this portal, the campus placement portal, which was also customized for WMEC. We offered flexi part-time work from anywhere. We conducted an interview-related training program for all the participants, which was again virtual. Our only gating was they had to be chartered accountants at least for a year. There were 81 companies that registered for this work from anywhere placement. We had 1,779 vacancies, 1,613 registrations, 97 offers, 50 acceptances. Now, from the registrations to the interviews, there was a bit of a dropout. So we are actually going to go back and figure out why more people didn't actually come to the interviews and consummate. And 97 offers were made and 50 acceptances were closed. So, and for us, it was a big, sort of event because this is the first time we tried something like this. And we believe that the 50 women went home very, very happy. And I'd like to share a very interesting, anecdote. So a couple of days back, before we had our women members program at Chennai in India, where I reside, I got a call from a certain lady called Chandana. She lives in a town called Tirupati, which is very famous for the temple that we have here. So she said, "Thank you so much, madam. I actually got into this campus placement and I found a placement. I now work for a multinational called Olam. I support their US operations and I work from 6 to 3, 6 in the evening to 3 in the morning." So we got around to talking and I asked her, "Why did you do this?" She said, "I have twins. It's extremely difficult to handle them if I'm not around at the house, and I was actually going to give up and do nothing." And Chandana, like all other women CAs, was very, very bright, very enthusiastic, but she was going into this stage where she was actually going to give up. And she found that this campus placement was actually a good thing. And most of all, she told me, "Ma'am, I'm super happy to note that, for you to note that I actually got a 30% pay hike." So imagine a company in the US willing to take and work with somebody in Tirupati and to offer her 30% extra over her last drawn only meant that the quality of our education has been really good and the ability of our women CAs to present themselves has also been very good. I see an opportunity to collaborate with SAFA on this, and we'd be very, very happy. You can be in touch with both CMIB and the WMEC and myself, representing SAFA, to help you to actually use this digital platform to have a work from anywhere in South Asia mode. And obviously, there's more to go in the future. And my successor in this committee, CA Preeti Savla, who's going to be with you shortly, is also very, very dynamic. And I'm sure she'll take this initiative forward. And you wouldn't be surprised if the same time next year we said we've moved from 50 to 500. So thank you very, very much for this patient hearing, and hope to stay connected.
Thank you so much, Cypria. Okay, next we have Fariha Sharif, who is representing CA Maldives. Fariha brings with her over 15 years of experience in the audit and accountancy profession. She is a council member of CA Maldives, as well as chairperson of Tax and Public Committee. Over to you, Fariha.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And, I have been listening to everyone speak since 4 o'clock. And before I even start my presentation, I must confess that we are very young and we're very small and we have a long way to go. But let me just put everything in context for you. This is the first time we've had an opportunity to speak in such a forum. So firstly, thank you very much. And let me just tell you a little bit about the Maldives and our gender parity. In terms of our population, surprisingly, we have 46% men, but this is because, a lot of foreign workers are men. So if you exclude them, we are talking about a 51-49% gender ratio in the Maldives. This is reflected in the student enrollment. Now, interestingly enough, in the enrollment, there's a 51-49% enrollment. But if you look at the statistics for grade 12, the leavers from grade 12, we see that there are more girls leaving than boys. But then when you go to the next level of education, the higher education enrollment, you see a huge difference between men and women in this area. Just to also look at women's participation in labor force, generally speaking, 40% of the labor force are women. But if you look at the civil servants, we are only talking, about a majority of civil service are actually women. However, however, only 22% of the leadership are women, which means that whilst we have such a high labor force participation and high level of participation in women in the civil service, we only have 78% of the leadership is men. This is reflected in some of these other statistics that I wanted to just share with you. We have only 4 women in an 87-member parliament, for example. But now our cabinet is now drastically improved with 33% of women. Of course, I don't think these statistics of nurses and teachers being dominated by women is anything different from any of the neighboring countries that we have here either. Given that I only have 3 to 4 minutes, I was told, I will skip to straight to CA and tell you a little bit about the CA Maldives. We are very young. We were established only in September of 2020. And our membership is very small. We've just reached 100 members. And you can see from here, we have about 25% of our members are women. And this is, as you can see, the member numbers have been increasing. Our council has only 1 woman at the moment. This is also mainly because we have an interim council where some of our members are actually there in the virtue of being in other government state bodies. So we used to actually have, at the very onset, we had 2 female members, but unfortunately, the financial controller, who was a woman, she resigned, and now we have a male financial controller, therefore we only have 1 woman on the board. But if you look at our management, we have a small management at the moment, but it is led by women. In fact, we have 4 women right now working in CA, and they are really taking the initiative and leading this organization. We also work with a lot of subcommittees, and if you look at the numbers, we actually take a lot of care in making sure that we do have women in our committees as well. Now, given that this is our very first few years, and we have only had 1 strategic plan, I must admit that gender was not a prime, gender equity wasn't one of our primary focuses. In fact, diversity has been included in our strategic plan, but in terms of ensuring that our, potential members in 200 different islands could be reached in a cost-effective, efficient manner. However, once we started working on the strategic plan, we realized that we have no, particular focus on gender, and therefore in our actions we have tried to incorporate as much as possible, understand the issues, and ensure that gender equity is brought in. I'm not going to go into the details of what we have done because, to be honest, we have to do a lot more. And the timing is quite good at the moment because we are about to embark on our second strategic plan. And I think this forum has given us a lot to think about and a way forward. And all the initiatives that all the member countries have shared here today is going to definitely come into our next strategic plan. Now I'm getting a prompt to actually conclude my discussion. So before that, I want to thank the SAFA and especially chairperson of this committee for including us and sharing it, creating this platform to share this knowledge with everyone. Thank you very much and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you so much, Fariha. Next, we have Meera Shrestha representing ICA Nepal. Meera has been an audit practitioner for over 25 years and is currently the chairperson of Women Leadership Committee of ICA Nepal and also Vice President of Auditors Association of Nepal. Over to you, Meera.
Thank you. Chairperson Hina Usmani, distinguished members and guests from SAFA members countries, and ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from Nepal, good afternoon and namaskar. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me and providing opportunity to present on the SAFA Women's Day Celebration 2023 events organized by SAFA Women Leadership Committee. Today, I am going to share on gender diversity initiative in ICA Nepal perspective.
Okay, Barja? Yes, okay, we can see the presentation now.
I'm going to share about.
Meera, we can see your presentation now.
Okay. I am going to share about 113th Women's Day celebration initiatives taken by Nepal and will focus on the current status initiatives taken by ICA Nepal and way forward from my side on gender diversity proportion. Let me share the genetic definition of gender and diversity. It says gender refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, expression, and identities of male and female. It influences how people perceive themselves and each other, how they act and interact, and the distribution of power and resources in society. Diversity means the quality of fact of including a range of many people of things that are very different from each other. As per Nepal Labor Act, Article 6.1, an employer should not discriminate against employee on the basis of their race, religion, gender, caste, culture, origin, language, and other conditions. I can initiate separate women leadership committee responsible to achieve their greater participation, more women members, formation in ICANN various standing and non-standing committees now, increasing number of women participation in leadership training program, international meeting events, etc., enhancing the capacity building of female members, staff through various training and engagement in relevant events, opportunities, increasing number of female and CA students enrollments. Then some of the way forwards and areas from my side that ICA Nepal needs to think about or consider to address the issue around gender diversity will be more resource allocated and designing of activities to enhancing the capacity building export for female members for both ARIA and CA, women representation in ICA Nepal council members, more women representation in ICA Nepal standing and non-standing committees, including in leadership position, women active and meaningful participation in national, international program, events, exposure, running CPE classes, setting of active output and outcome and embedded in 3-year strategic plan of the ICA Nepal. Development of gender diversity, equality and gender sensitive policies as per part of ICA Nepal strategic domain, 6 institutional domain and sustainability. Now let me share some of the facts and figures around gender and diversity profession of ICA Nepal. Total council member of ICANN male 17, total 17. Standing and non-standing committees by male, female. Male 18, female 1, total 19. Total member in standing committee 31, female 0, total 31. Total member in board 27, male, female 0, total 27. Total member in non-standing committees male 140, female 21, total 161. There are 2 types of member in our institute. Chartered accountant and registered auditor. Total ICANN member chartered accountants 164, female are 321, total 1985. Total ICANN members registered officer 7071, females 152, total 7223. Total number of staff 48, female 31, total 79. Total number of students 2246, female 1625, total 3871. The table will give the status of gender mix and diversity that currently we have with the traffic lights. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Meera.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Maria Hawaldar representing ICA Bangladesh. Maria was a former chair of SAFA Women Leadership Committee and is also the founder and CEO of Hawaldar Maria and Company Chartered Accountants. Her firm is providing various accounting and auditing services in Bangladesh since 2003. Over to you, Maria.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you. Please allow me some time to share my presentation. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and we can see your presentation also.
Okay, thank you so much. So today we celebrate our togetherness among SAFA women accounting professionals by celebrating SAFA Women Day. Actually, this is a special day, I believe. As chairperson of SAFA Women Development Committee mentioned, this is the first SAFA Women Day. I congratulate the current chairperson, Ms. Hina Usmani, for taking this initiative and having a special day for all SAFA women like us. So, and also I congratulate all the board members and members of the committee for working hard to take it forward. So, my topic and all of our topic is to talk about diversity and inclusion. Of course, actually, diversity and inclusion, as you understand, leads to better ideas and helps foster a positive environment that not only promote equality but delivers result as well. So in the current context of the world, especially in the country of in Asia region, actually the result we need to wait. We need to take lots of initiatives to make it successful because we still have challenges, especially challenges for all women. That's true, and for starting from root level to leadership level. So when we want to talk about challenges for CA women or in Bangladesh, so for CA women, actually challenges start from the entry level, when they decide whether they will study CA or not, because this is a big question. Because after finishing graduation, family it needs the motivation from family and herself also to continue further professional degree, to have another degree and to study more 3 years or more 3.5 years. So the challenge starts from that time. And after once decided, okay, there are lots of challenges in working in the firm, and of course facing lots of working challenges, and because in her workspace also there are not 50-50 men and women everywhere. So we still have a we can say it's a minority rate. So the continuation of studies, another challenge. There are lots of students, it seems like they start, maybe they complete the course, or sometimes they do not even complete the course of articleship and then discontinue. So a minimum percentage actually continue study, and after whenever become chartered accountant, actually then also we have to, of course, have to face challenges, like in getting a job and working in a good environment, and of course in decision making role as well. So in still we have, as you may know, our Prime Minister is Sheikh Hasina. She's a female, and we have lots of number of women is increasing in the secretariat level and leadership level as well. But still, so there are companies who write, when they give advertisement for the job, they write it only apply for male. Females are not encouraged to apply. So that's where we are, but we are, I think situation is changing, of course, changing for better and better future for women. So let me talk about growth of our female CA. So actually we, in 1996, ICB had only 4 female members. So when the institute established in 1973, it started journey with 78 members. All were male. There were no female. So after waiting 17 years in Bangladesh, we got 1 female chartered accountant, that is MS Suraya Jannat Khan, in 1989. So that means the beginning of the journey was late for us as well. But that's the beginning. Now we have 149 female chartered accountants, and from 1989 till 2011, we had only 40 female chartered accountants. But from 2012 to 2022, we have 149. So number of increase of getting CAs in our profession is like last 10 years. So I think it is a change of our economic status as well. As you know, Bangladesh also is a emerging economy, and we are growing, and we are planning for $1 trillion journey. So that and also the mentality of the of family and the students and are changing. That's why I think last 10 years number has increased, and we are expecting more numbers in the upcoming days. But still, we are not 2% among all of the members, Jharkhand members we have. So while the world has moved ahead and male-female ratio is around 50%, that actually our result is still very low. So, so when our journey started, yeah. So I think how much time I am allowed? 5 minutes.
Can you, can you please conclude earlier since we're short of time?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Thank you.
So you see, for the development of female CA, a journey started by having a committee. It was called Gender Committee, and to be honest, it was formed under the leadership of Mr. A.N.H. Siddiq, FC. He is also a male. So actually, the prime focus that time was awareness and sustainability of CA profession for women and encourage them to enter the profession. So like lots of initiatives, workshops, seminars, computer training, and motivational activities were taken and begin from that time. So I'll not talk much more, but I want to say 2017 we have 100 female CAs, and 2017 we had WHEEL, which was formed by our first female president, Ms. Parveen Mahmood, and that also encouraged lots of women to study CA. So if main initiatives, actually we do workshops, seminars, motivational activities for the women, for the students, and for the women CA, and we arrange webinar workshop for all members here. Female members also can participate, and different programs and career talk show to attract more female students, nursing the female students, and working on implementing entrepreneurship leadership program, board ready CA women, and developing future ready CA women professional. We do organize International Women's Day every year, of course, to encourage the women. And we also arranged work-life balance embracing tech during our COVID time with the SAFA. And we do, as I mentioned, career talk show and lots of webinar. Thank you for being with me. Actually, it's start of journey, I believe, and we hope we will get more and more female in our in Bangladesh and among SAFA. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maria, and thank you, members, for the valuable insights. The achievements of each country are commendable, and I believe together we can make a difference and pave the way for a brighter future for all women. Now, moving forward, we have a presentation by Ms. Khurshid Kotwal on Women Inclusion Guide in CA Profession and the Workforce by ICA Pakistan. Ms. Khurshid Kotwal, the winner of Most Influential Women Award 2022, is another inspiring woman. She is double qualified as fellow chartered accountant and fellow corporate secretary, and brings with her over 30 years of experience in the field of audit and accountancy. She has served on various ICAP committees and is currently leading the Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICAP. She is also part of Board of Governors, PIPFA, Board of Anti-Money Laundering, SAFA Task Force on Sustainability Reporting and Assurance, as well as International Relations Committee and Technical Committee of SAFA. Over to you, Khurshid.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly delighted that today we are celebrating the SAFA Women's Day. This is a great initiative, and I hope we continue on every year with the same momentum and zeal. Ms. Hina Usmani, President for SAFA Women's Committee, Mr. Nihal, President SAFA, all SAFA Council members, Mr. Asad Firoz, and all the women joining in from the CA profession for today. So basically, today I will talk about how we are driving women inclusion, and there are some structural things as well that we need to do. Today, actually, there are dual themes of Women's Day that people are celebrating around the world. While some talk about sustainability through diversity and inclusion, what impresses me the most is the United Nations Women Agenda for Digit All. I feel there is a lot of scope for us women to actually take this on board, take it upon us to really learn these digital technologies so that we are actually able to innovate and move forward our careers and move ahead in the profession. So from the CA Pakistan, leading the digital agenda, we bring a number of offerings, and for instance, so which greatly help women as well. Of course, we have participants coming in from all around the world to participate in our programs. So we have a data analytics program, which is very well sought after. And now from next month onwards, we will be bringing a new program called the Technology Assurance Certificate. We hold quarterly discussions as well on digital technology, and we urge all of you all to participate, because I think this will really give a jump start to the women and their careers. Now, moving on to the next. Moving on, sorry, I'm unable to move the slides somehow. Okay. So we are going to talk about the Women Inclusion Guide that Pakistan has made. And this is for all our stakeholders at ICAP who are basically, who may be either training organizations or our tuition centers, as we call them, or for ICAP, or for the industries that are training chartered accountants. So what we did was that we did a little study to find out what are the industry best practices being followed in Pakistan. And we noted down and spoke to and did some discussions on, what are the things we could adopt upon. So what we have done is that we have gathered all the best practices around that are being followed by different companies or audit firms or the training organizations or even our tuition centers, and we've made this guide. So this guide will help people to move their digital agenda forward in their organizations or in their institutes. So initially what we've done is we've done a soft to launch, and it's a voluntary adoption. And naturally our objectives are that we want this will help in encouraging more and more women to come into the profession, and that all the difficulties that you and I may have faced during our time as women, those are eliminated, or if not eliminated, then at least reduced. So with that in mind, what we have done is we are letting organizations to make their own plans for a year's time. So what we encourage through this guideline is that every company should have, or every institute or institution who is associated with the CA profession in some way or the other, sets their own KPIs for next year where women are concerned. And there are many areas, so we are not dictating anything or making it compulsory or mandatory. We're saying whichever level or stage that you are at, you try and enhance and increase more women in your workforce. So what we want to do is, after having this soft launch, in a year's time, we want to recognize those organizations that have really put up a plan, that have really done some work on women, have tried to promote and encourage women to get into roles, into leadership roles as well. So we will then make a study, and we will have a mechanism of announcing who are the ones who are really doing genuine work to promote women agenda in their organization. And there are various components of our women, of the policy. So what we've said in this is, and I'll just touch base very briefly, are a number of areas like that women should get an equal opportunity. We heard some examples this afternoon of discrimination. So, you know, though, I mean, we've all gone through some sort of discrimination in our careers. So that mindset change comes through adoption of good policies for women. The other area where women are nervous to work late or nervous to come into the CA profession, for which it's important that there are proper harassment and anti-harassment and discrimination policies and procedures. And the most important thing is a mechanism where people can complain. So again, of course, I worked for a multinational some years ago as the corporate finance director at Unilever, and we had the best practices in Pakistan on these. But it's important that the other companies, as well as the training organizations, etc., adopt some of these good practices, whether it is in the area of leave, whether it is the work environment, or whether it is flexible working hours. So flexible working hours is something very important, and I feel that where the technology is leading us can create an opportunity so that we are able to balance our home lives as well as do some work and stay in the profession. So I'd urge all the women who are listening up today to take it upon themselves to not be out of touch of the profession, because getting back to the profession is going to be extremely difficult. So it's better that you reskill yourselves as well as you try and do something or the other, because today there is a lot of opportunity available. So I won't go into too many details because I've already been told that time is really short. But just to give a flavor, please read through our detailed guide, which will tell you what are some of the best practices we encourage as CA women from Pakistan for companies or for institutes or for the accounting chartered accountants to adopt in their workplace. So there are a number of things that can be done, and the guide talks about all the details which you possibly can, and these are some of the things that we have seen in which are sometimes common due to our particular culture in Pakistan, you know, or because there are sometimes mandates on the women. So I think we've all talked about the numbers, and these are the numbers that are given to me that my colleague Nazia has collected from all of you all. And what we definitely are encouraged to see that Sri Lanka is leading as of today, and there's still a lot of work to be done in Pakistan. And whilst our journey actually started in 2010, and we've really taken momentum from 2017 onwards, but there's still a lot of work that can be done. I was very happy to hear the India numbers, which are now touching at 44%. And this is where I would like to also mention that because of all our efforts, even now we will be hovering at 30 plus numbers. So, I'd urge all the ladies from the Institute, do come forward. Now we have a lot of best practices with us. So instead of reinventing the wheel, please take on these things with pride and learn these and adopt these things. So you don't need to spend time on actually figuring out things. You just go and execute it very quickly, and we are always there for you all to help out. So basically, coming to an end to my presentation is that, like I mentioned, this is more of a self-assessment type of a thing. And we want to play, as CA Women's Committee, a very encouraging role and do regular surveys. So we did have some initial concerns and inhibitions about this guide. And so we held consultative sessions and really broke the mindset, and we are able to now implement it into our system. So that is all from my side, and thank you, ladies, for coming forward for this program. Over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Kotwal. It was really great to hear about the digital agenda and technology-related initiatives by the CA Women's Committee of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. Indeed, the technology can change the ways of working and change the life for us. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have a very interesting panel discussion. The topic for the panel discussion is about the ways to unlock women potential for endless opportunities. The session will be moderated by Ms. Camilla Kore. Ms. Camilla is the Vice Chair of SAFA Women Leadership Committee. Our panelist includes Professor Lakshman. He's the past President of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and SAFA. He was also the Founder President of the Association of Accounting Technicians of Sri Lanka, Founder President of ICMA Sri Lanka, and Founder President of Institute of Chartered Professional Managers of Sri Lanka. Our next panelist is Parveen Mahmood. Ms. Parveen Mahmood is the first woman president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh and also first woman board member of SAFA in 2011. We also have with us Mr. Farooq Rahman as the panelist. He is an elected council member of ICA Pakistan. Being the vice president for the term 2017 to 2018, he has served in the capacity of the chairman and member at various committees of ICAP and also served on international forums including IFAC and SAFA. Last but not the least, we have with us Preeti Sabla. She is the Central Council of Chartered Accountants of India and also a mentor and independent director. Now I will hold the I will give the proceedings to Camilla Kore for the rest of the session, and I will ask her to lead the panel discussion. Thank you, everyone.
I am not allowed to put on my video. Camilla.
All right, IT, can you please look into it? Yes, they are just sorting it out, Camilla. Maybe like a minute or two, it will be sorted.
Sure. I think until Preeti sort it out, let's commence the discussion. I have a quite challenging task in my hands. I've been asked to conclude this within 30 to 40 minutes. So I'll try my best to get the best out of our panel today. So you would all agree with me that much has been spoken about diversity and inclusion over the last couple of decades. And gender equality, gender diversity has been one of the major topics in almost all of those agendas. And women participation in leadership roles is something that we have always encouraged. And what we have seen over the last decade was increasing. But has it been enough is what we are wanting to discuss today. So I would first request each panelist to share their views on the topic that we have in our hand today, ways to unlock women's potential for endless opportunities. Professor Watawala, if I may request you to first share your thoughts in a couple of minutes, given that we have very short time in our hand.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Let me really congratulate the SAFA Women's Leadership Committee that have been led by Ms. Hina Usmani and the excellent presentations that were done. In fact, it was also a big learning lesson for us. Now, the topic itself, I think, was very well covered by everyone. So I don't know whether there is anything for me to say, but I would just like to say a few things that, you know, with the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been new opportunities that have come up, you know, that is mainly like what we are doing today, the online Zoom and other meetings that we are having, which are really a very, very big opening for the women folk, because working from home and others are really some of the best things that can happen to them. And I'm sure that the developments will increase or even double or treble as a result of this, because earlier even we saw how some of them were implementing even the training programs. So this, I think, would be a very great event, and I'm sure that everyone will be able to benefit with this digital mode that we are using.
Thank you, Professor. I think the IT advancement of technology is surely empowering women, something that we need to talk a little later in our panel discussion. Parveen, if I move on to you, if you can share your thoughts on the topic today.
Good evening and happy SAFA Women's Day 2023 to all. First, Hina Usmani, I want to thank Chairperson SAFA Women's Leadership Committee. I would like to thank you and all the SAFA women professionals. There is time constant, so Mr. Professor Watawala also, because he was very instrumental in setting up Women's Leadership Committee. Just because I was the first woman in the board, so just I will take some moments to share my thoughts. In 2011, when I was the first one in the SAFA board, and I thank Mr. Surya of ICAP. He proposed for to say anyway, when in 2018 in Nepal SAFA meeting, Mr. Watawala and all the other SAFA members in our international committee, actually we were discussed, and the SAFA board accepted. And later on, you know, and how it has evolved. And I'm very happy today how it has progressed under leadership of Hina Usmani. And it's really inspiring to listen to everybody, and everybody is doing moved forward. But in general, I want to make a comment that individually, all our institutes, professional bodies, they have these committees, Women Leadership Committee, but after SAFA, here's the progress is remarkable. Both it up, I mean, even since, because the recent Maldives has set up, and some are new, some are old, but still the women's progression, I will say, it's recently, it is really very encouraging. But like, if we see the participation today, now it's only 31 in my screen. And when we started, it was 50 plus. But we have total members of 370,000 plus total professionals, and CA professionals, I will say male and female, and 101,000 plus is women CA professionals. But we are here only 30. This is our weaknesses, I will say. We have to interact, we have to make networking, and our best practices we have to share. And I will request Hina, if you can, from SAFA Women Leadership Committee banner, for the SAFA countries to mobilize women leadership, we can do more. Like we can form a women's working committee to share our best practices. Even we could do some, we can help with the technology. We can do whatever we have shared the best practices. I think this for make a brighter future for all the professionals, and with the help of technology and in this digital economy. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Parveen. Point to think about. We're talking about equality, but when the opportunity is given, are we really taking the best out of it? Is a question that we really need to look into with your comments as well.
Yeah, thank you. Camilla, just I want to make another point. Sorry.
Yes.
Just like SAFA Women Leadership Committee, because you have a goal for supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We can make a link with UN, with SAFA Women Leadership Committee, and with the UN, and also with the SAC Secretariat. Because in the SAC Secretariat as a whole, SAFA sometimes is overlooked. I've seen in Bangladesh also in government programs and all, like other bodies, always accountancy bodies are not represented, or not participate, their participation is overlooked. So we have to assert ourselves, we have to be aggressive, and we have to, what we are doing, because we can then leaving no one behind, which is the goal we can do for all. So we have to, like with the UN, we should try. Of course, we'll try to implement the SDG goals, but with the UN, I think SAFA should link up. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. We'll take your point also for future discussions, and we'll proceed through as to what we could do in linking to respective bodies. So if I move on to Farooq, quickly, if you can share your thoughts on the topic that we have for the discussion today.
Right, thank you, Kamala, and good evening to all. First of all, let me congratulate the organizing committee for arranging such a great event. I echo what Professor Watawala and Madam Parveen has said about the event and the topic. Jumping directly to your question and the topic, my take is that for looking into the ways to unlock the women potential, I think we need to segmentalize it in three parts. One, we have to look at the regulatory framework, and I'm talking this in terms of ring fencing it for the profession. So we have to look at the regulatory framework. Is that enabling? Is that encouraging for the woman to come to the profession and rise to a very senior position? But also in terms of attractiveness to the profession, there are measures to be taken. And we have a very young population, I think, overall, not only in Pakistan, but in the region. So to have that young, bright females attracting towards the profession, I think that is another way of, unlocking the woman potential. Then finally, looking at how to retain them. It's not only bringing them to the profession, but also how to retain them within the profession, so that the overall benefit, not only to that very individual, but also in terms of the overall economy, everybody gets benefit. So I think these are the three, proper segments in which probably we can do more discussion. But that is how probably all the institute, those who are involved, they should be focusing their efforts going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Farooq. I think quite interesting point on the last one. You know, how do we make sure that what we brought into the picture is being retained? And there is a continuation. I wish we could take this up on the panel discussion later. So let me move on to Prithvi for her initial remarks on the topic.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and very respected SAFA committee, the SAFA chair, Hina, and all the members of SAFA committee and my co-panelist. It's being an honor to be there with all of you on this panel. As regards to unlock potential, I feel that all women are having the same level of potential, energy, as regards to all the professionals, and there is no less potential they have. Moreover, I feel that they are more dedicated, more disciplined. We have done research into women professional, why the ratio is less on the leadership as compared to male members, and very astonishing results we have found of the research. And then accordingly, we have designed our entire year to take up at ICAI India. And accordingly, we felt that we need that after taking the break, women actually require upgrading the knowledge, upgradation of knowledge and the technology to gain the confidence in them. And also they need more support system at office as well as at home, and they need to showcase their talent and their knowledge. And accordingly, we have designed everything, our action plan. Accordingly, we provide the platform to the women fraternity so that they upgrade they can showcase their knowledge. We do the training sessions and the workshop for their upgradations, and accordingly a lot of technical as well as non-technical motivational programs we do. So as regards to potential, they are very much having a great potential, but they need to have more confidence and more knowledge, which is the role of all the ICAI as well as SAFA, and also the UN as SDG 5 gender equality. And if we also see the women ratio on leadership is very, very less. If we see the comparable ratios in the women professionals. So let us take it further and see what best we can do from the SAFA platform, as I also chair the SAFA Sustainability Board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prithvi. I think what you are trying to emphasize is that in terms of the potential, we all have the same potential. But in terms of we using that potential confidently, whether we all use it equally or do we need support, and whether that support is coming from our professional bodies, are we doing something to improve that support system? So coming back to Professor Vatawala, with my first question, Professor, you are currently the president of CMA Sri Lanka, and you've led many professional bodies in Sri Lanka. You work with many professional bodies and professionals across. So in your experience, what are the strengths of women that you have seen, which helps the professions to be uphold into a greater position?
Thank you, Jamila. I think if you really look at the maybe 20, 30 years back or 20 years back, you would have seen that the role of women, both in the professional field and of course the students coming in, were really not very great. One of the examples is what was really mentioned by ICAP, at that time, Pakistan was really a country where the women were really overshadowed by the men. But the actions that they have taken have shown that they have made tremendous progress. I think it's a very major achievement that anyone can be proud of. So even if you look at what we have been doing earlier, now, the career, one thing is of course the students, but the career is also something very important for women, because either once you get married, then there are so many other obligations that you have. And I feel that maybe some of them may be comfortable in the practicing audit firms where maybe they can work on their own. And then now today, with, as I said earlier, with the digitalization coming in, maybe where they can also work certain hours from home. So that's an advantage that is there. But when you go into the operational area, that is where if you are going to work in a company, either in an industry or maybe a business organization, things are going to be different, because they have to take a lot of responsibility. Then they have to maybe put in a lot of effort. So that may really not suit their lifestyle. So that's one of the things that I feel that maybe even the people who go into the corporate area may not be able to come up really to the top, because we find only very few people coming to the top. But one thing that I saw is now recently with the problems that we had, maybe if we can take our own institute, the CMA, the COVID-19 pandemic, that wanted us to change the way that we were doing things. And I must say that the majority of our staff were all females. But we were able to change. We were able to get them suited to the digital setup. And also the members were earlier where they were doing various matters, either in a maybe a physical or manual manner, were now able to go into it. So today we hardly find anyone maybe even sending a check, So they are all working on digital means, either the payment direct online. So I think those are real developments that have taken place, which will enhance not only the women folk in all their activities that they are doing. Then even for the students, it's the same thing, because if as I said, even their registrations, the method of learning. So this will help them to where you can get increased numbers coming in for the education or on a hybrid mode. So I am a real believer that the whole structure could be changed and we can further develop what we are doing, especially for the women folk with the digitalization that is going on.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. I think what comes out on your point of view is that if we are to unleash the potential of women, the structures, the support system needs also to be catered to the environment that is changing for us to reap the better benefits for the leadership of the women. Parveen, if I come back to you with my question, most of the time, we get to hear these jobs, these responsibilities are men's job. There is a kind of defined roles for men's, and there is a lot of unconscious biasness in people, in societies. Certain things cannot be done by women. Those are men's responsibilities. So we're working with many women outside in many countries. If you can explain me what is your view and how you have seen women really unleashing their potential in the challenges amongst the unconscious biasness that they have to deal with.
Thank you. Well, this is our cultural mindset, I would say. Here, I think all the South Asian countries, the SAFA countries, we have more or less same type of cultural mind. But gradually it has changed. I think most of the professionals who are here today, in general, we are much better off. Our families has is not the same as before. For girls, women's opportunities and for boys opportunity, for the girls, between the girl and the son, usually boy, they don't make this kind of discrimination anymore. But still, we need much awareness to usually like household chores, maintenance. This is for the girls. It is it is supposed to be, and but I think now for in the Bangladesh context, I will say we have done tremendously in social indicators. We have done well, and even we find that gradually it's changing. But for pandemic, during the pandemic, this is, I think, globally this is the scenario, and especially in our country context, we have seen the girls are dropout rate from their schools has increased is because of the condition at that time, the economic condition and everything. But for all this, but consciously now the government is also taking initiatives to bring them back. And from the professional body context, I will say, in ICB, when we had started, we had a gender committee in 1996. At that time, we have discussed, I don't want to go into details, but to encourage girl students to carry on for CA career, and also those who are dropout, to encourage them to finish their studies. And we have found some positive result also. But from today's discussions, all the women's leadership committees are working, and also the professional bodies also, where now we are helping them to encouraging from career break, to redirect. So from this kind of thing globally and at home, things are changing. It's not that still we have to, I think it will take some time, this mental barrier, but I think everything starts from home. So as a mother, as a women, we have a role also, that our son is, our brothers are also have their mindset to change, that to accept their co-workers, to respect their female counterparts in the workplace, in life, and that will make equal opportunities, remove inequality.
Thank you, Parveen. I think, as you correctly said, it needs to start from the home. You start appreciating, you're not treating your son differently to your daughter. And it's quite interesting to see how the numbers have progressed, what we have seen throughout the day-to-day on different presentation. Making that awareness has really helped. And I think as a mother, as a woman, we have a lot of responsibilities to be part of that awareness campaign as well from home itself. Farooq, if I come back to you with my first question. You work with many organizations, different countries, you have vast amount of experience. In your experience, what do you think is the biggest challenge that women face in unleashing their potential and getting into leadership roles? And how do you think men can support them to achieve that goal?
Right, Kamala. So I think what I have seen is, and if you also look at the global studies, it is really the social part. It is the mindset of our society. The way we think is a female, a woman is really a homemaker, a caretaker, whereas men is taken as a bread earner. So that is where, right at the start, the mindset is. However, having said that, if we look at the industry, the businesses, it is very, very similar in terms of men or women, how they take any particular job in terms of when they decide to work. The first thing is for a woman or a man is that they have to be fairly remunerated. Now, if they are fairly remunerated, then the next comes is whether they have the job fulfillment or not. If they have the job fulfillment, whether they can be truly themselves at the workplace. So these three things together will be something which will be taken as a very encouraging factor for any woman to be at the marketplace, at the workplace, and perform at its best. So one, as I said at the start, that it is the mindset, the social issue, the society issue. But then when it comes to the workplace, these are the three things which really matters for any woman to remain and to unleash their potential.
Yeah, so you actually brought up a quite interesting point again for the discussion. I wish I have time. The mindset, because it's the mindset of the women as well as the men that matters, because the more that we believe as women we are ready, it needs to be accepted by the men as well that yes, they are ready. So it's a mindset of both parties that needs to come together for us to have the potential outcome that we expect from women participation. Prithvi, if I moved on to you with my question, it is said that you need to truly know you will truly not know about your capabilities until you know about your limits, and you learn from that as to how to play with your strength. But quite often when women know their limits and try to manage the risk, it is been seen as women's are risk averse, women's avoid risk. So what is your view on this statement? And do you believe that this is one of the skill, one of the characteristics that we really need in the boardroom in today's context?
So as regards to the boardroom, now a lot of boards across globe have the women participation on the boards, and that diversity actually means a lot. The views presented by the women, and it really matters a lot. It brings the discipline in the board. And however, as you have said, the risk and the word calculated risk is very much taken by women participants, women fraternity. And actually a lot of things goes into the mind whenever the new opportunity comes, because when there is a male, they only look for the opportunity and take the business. However, when any opportunity comes, the woman will always see whether it will be convenient for everyone at office as well as everyone in the family also. Otherwise, there is always a guilt feeling in their mind whether they are doing the justice to their family. And looking after all those things, the decisions are being taken because they feel they are responsible if anything goes wrong in the family. And that is how they take the responsibility on their shoulders. And accordingly, the risk for anything is taken up by them. And sometimes I feel they are so cautious, even if it is not there, they will feel that they are responsible. So that the things have to change, and the responsibility is equal on the shoulders of each family member. And the clarity of the thoughts and the communication plays a major role And the clear communication, if they have with their family member, with their office, with the new opportunity where they are taking, and I clearly mention everything what is on their plate, a lot of things get clear and smooth. So the risk mitigation exercise is the clarity of thoughts, the clear objective and goals, and the proper communication system with all.
Thank you, Prithvi. I think it's all about, how do we perceive the way that women behave. I don't think it's a risk avoidance. Probably I would say that women take the calculated risk because, we looked into matter holistically and probably we are much sensitive to the issues at our hand. So it's heart and head both comes together, as you correctly said, when we looked into a problem and risk perspective. I've been getting messages from the organizers to conclude the session. It's sad that we could not get into a deeper discussion, but I just wanted to say a very big thank you to all the panel members for sharing your thoughts on the topic today. I think it's a time for us to leave aside all our differences, may it be gender, may it be race, but work as human beings to unleash all our potential for the benefit of our future generations. It's a privilege for me to be moderating this session with all of you, and let me thank all of you once again for your valuable insights and thoughts that you shared with us. Back to you, MC.
Thank you, Camilla, and our panelists. This was a great discussion. For gender equality, therefore, we have a long way to go, and we all have to play our role in it. Our next speaker is Mr. Hishana Karupa. He is the Vice President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka for the term 2022 to 2023. He has served as a council member of CA Sri Lanka since 2012. Please welcome Mr. Hishana for his closing remarks.
Thank you very much. I think very, very insightful discussion. We listened to several speeches and then panelists over last 2 hour or more period. So it's not easy to conclude and summarize everything because we had around 20 presenters giving their insightful information. But quickly, in the interest of time, I'll take a few of these and try to conclude this session. Actually, we all can be happy. There is remarkable progress made in regional countries with regard to diversity and inclusiveness, especially in our profession. For that matter, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India all shared their success stories. Yes, there are countries who are behind, but compared to where we were 20 years ago or 10 years ago, we have made remarkable improvement. So that's creditable and well done. And times have come. Actually, there is increased awareness and there is women in workforce joining hand and equally contributing. There is, for us to have inclusiveness and sustainable economic development that cannot be achieved without both parties working together. So the women contribution is essential. Diversity is not limited to accountancy profession. I think worldwide there is diversity being accepted and promoted. Challenges faced include perception issues, work-life balance related issues, less opportunities available for women workforce. So those are some of the challenges that women face, including in our profession. So there needs to be some initiatives taken by professional bodies to overcome some of these challenges. Capacity building measures and entrepreneurship programs have been arranged by many professional organizations to make women not only become a professional, but going beyond that to become an entrepreneur and business person as well. And goal is to increase women representation in leadership roles at institute level as well as at corporate level. So that is actually highlighted by all the presenters, those who shared their stories relating to the countries. And there was, during panel discussion, we discussed importance of SAFA joining hands with bodies like UN to drive sustainability development related goals and see how we work together. And in order to unlock women potential, several segments can be considered, including regulatory framework and retention of women workforce in the organizations. So there is the thought that women also have the same level of potential as other professionals as well as men. So they need to be given that opportunity. So I think digital side also there are support being extended to come out and women to show their real talent. So that is also discussed during the panel discussion. It's happy to note that all the SAFA countries have similar mindset as well as we have similar priorities. So and encouraging to see the effort put by the committee, Women Leadership Committee of SAFA. Actually, I have my council meeting happening now. I asked whether I could leave early, but later I decided no, I need to stay because this is one way I could appreciate and pay respect to these women who are organizing this event with a lot of challenges. It's not easy to get 6-7 countries coming together. I know how difficult it is. So job well done, and thank you very much for initiating this. And I thank on behalf of SAFA, the chairperson of Women Leadership Committee and SAFA President, Ms. Nihal Jambusaria, and other panelists, those who shared their insightful information, and IFAC President as well, coming on video mode. So with all that, I think there is a lot of things that we have to learn from each other. That's one purpose of SAFA. So we can take a lot of things back home as well. There are success stories. There are countries who are progressing ahead of others. So let's work together. And finally, the region needs to win. So with that, I thank everyone involved and thank you for the great session.
Thank you, Mr. Shana, for your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our session today. Hopefully, you have enjoyed today's session and gathered some really good insights. Please follow SAFA Women's social media handles for more insights on coming events and action updates. Really glad to see some strong women on the forum today, and I am glad that our generation is no longer talking about the glass slippers and already breaking the glass ceilings. I will leave you with a saying from Kofi Annan, Secretary General of United Nations. Gender diversity is more than a goal. It's a precondition for meeting the challenge of reducing poverty, promoting sustainable development, and building good governance. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening and goodbye.
Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you very much for being part of this initiative. Without each and everyone's participation, we won't be able to do it successfully. Thank you so very much for taking this initiative and making this event a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.